thank you so much for that presentation. It was awesome, so I really appreciate that. I was hoping that the City Council would be here to actually hear the statements, but they're not. So I actually prepared a statement. I'm better at writing than I am at speaking because I'm not really a politician. But my name's Donnie Henry in Peoria. For transparency, I'm the chairman of the Libertarian Party of Peoria County, and I'm also a commissioner on the Racial Justice and Equity Commission here in Peoria County. I'm not a cannabis user. I've been in the military since I was 18, so that really hasn't been an option. And I know what you guys are probably thinking. Here is a libertarian talking about drugs again, right? But for libertarians, this has never been about cannabis or drugs. This is solely about individual rights and freedom. In a free society, we have the liberty to live the way we see fit as long as what we do doesn't affect the right of another to do the same. Or at least that's what the founders believed. Cannabis is a plant. Any adult who uses cannabis is a willing user. Any adult selling cannabis is acting in a voluntary transaction between two individuals. There is no victim, so there's no crime. Our war on drugs in this country at its best has been a fool's errand, and at its worst has been a vicious crime by government against its people. We locked people in cages that never hurt anyone. We destroyed our poorest communities through tough on crime initiatives, and we were so heartless that we turned addicts into criminals. One day, future generations will look back with disbelief on the immorality of it all. It was a huge step in the right direction that the state of Illinois has legalized cannabis for recreational use. The law is sloppy, and the state government's greed and a lack of a basic understanding of economics has created a point of diminishing returns. In other words, taxation has been so excessive that it is either a barrier for consumers to enter the marketplace or to preserve the underground black market. Most of the people that I know who use cannabis still buy it from the same people that they bought it from 10 years ago. So that really isn't relevant here today, but highlights the untapped potential that we could have if we limited the taxation on it. Cannabis will be a $25 billion industry. Forbes has said $40 billion by 2025, and it's created about 500,000 jobs in America. Keep in mind that this is only with half of Americans have ever tried cannabis. And so Illinois and Michigan are the only two states in the Midwest that have legalized it recreational. I think that creates a huge opportunity for us. Whether we want to admit it or not, Peoria is a slowly dying town in a slowly dying state. We're drowning in pension debt. We have failing schools. Crime is out of control. Our roads have craters in them. Businesses are barely keeping afloat. Our downtown is dead most Friday and Saturday nights. And there's homeless people literally defecating on the sidewalks. We have all of these issues, and when one of the fastest growing industries comes to our door, we want to say, get lost? Are we out of our damn minds? We should be embracing cannabis. We should be welcoming the industry no different than Bloomington Normal welcomed Rivian. We should be highlighting the possibility of the hospitality industry to bring folks to our beautiful river city, to stay in our hotels, eat in our restaurants, and catch music at our bars, and yes, our dispensaries. Instead, we are having what has got to be the most Peoria meeting I have ever heard of. Gee, should we create more barriers to the industry? Of course not. So there's should be no cap on dispensaries. Government has no role in this. The market will dictate whether the entrepreneur made the right decision and whether there's enough demand to sustain their business. The business should be treated no different than alcohol. I appreciate all the info today about that. This isn't rocket science. Apply the rules the same as alcohol. That's what it should be. Of course, we should allow on-site consumption. Anyone saying otherwise, I would expect their next trick to be to ban alcohol at bars or to end wine tastings at wineries or brewery tastings at breweries. We should make cannabis industry play in Peoria. As a member of the Racial Justice and Equity Commission, I believe we have an obligation to make good on what our war on drugs has done to the most vulnerable in our community. But creating more barriers to entry for entrepreneurs is not how we accomplish that. But let's simply incentivize hiring from certain zip codes within the city and grant property tax credits for businesses that choose to set up shop in those communities. Let's not say if you're going to operate, you need to do this or this or this. In closing, we have got to stop being our own worst enemy. Peoria has to adapt to be a business-friendly city or we will die. The cards are already stacked against us. The whiskey city can become the green city, the peaceful city, the friendly city. But we just can't be the anti-industry city we have been for decades. Thanks for listening.